Hi gang, today we wanted to share with you one of our favorite places in the United States.
Michigan!
More specifically, the Upper Peninsula. Because of its location in the US, this isn't an area that you're going to stumble across on a road trip. Your intention to visit has to be deliberate.
This is why we're going to be covering the best things to see, where to stay, and what to eat so you don't waste your time in the Upper Peninsula. So, let's roll that intro. Is a piece of land that is almost entirely surrounded by water but is connected to the mainland on one side. The state of Michigan is actually two peninsulas, the upper and the lower. Again, today we're only going to be discussing the Upper Peninsula, aka the UP. It's surrounded by Lake Superior to the north and Lake Huron and Lake Michigan to much of the south. Also, we discovered the residents are called Yoopers, which is derived from the term UPers. Yoopers, get it? Surprisingly, the UP contains 29% of the land area of the entire state of Michigan, but just 3% of its total population. So a lot of land with little people. Sounds like our kind of place.
Let's go over the 9 places that you cannot miss on your trip to the UP. Number 1 is Mackinac Island. We visited the island this summer and loved it. We brought our e-bikes and had a blast. You can rent regular bikes on the island or you can bring yours on the ferry. There are 2 main ferries, the Starline and Shepler's. The ticket prices were the same for both, so we ended up going with Shepler's and paid only $27 per person round trip. We also paid an additional $13 per person to bring our bikes. You can either take a ferry directly to the island, or you can choose, like we did, to take a ferry that goes under the mighty Mac, which is the bridge that connects the upper and lower peninsulas.
So, we were told that the best burger, not only on the island, but some people's worldwide favorite burger, is from Chuck Wagon, and obviously that's where we had to go for lunch. So I got the mushroom and Swiss, Jason got the barbecue bacon. His is gone, so I think that's a testament to what he thought about it. But I did want to talk about it before I devoured mine. It is very yummy. I can tell there's 2 different types of onions on here. I think this is like a pretzel bun, and the fries are even very good as well. I love shoestring fries, so they're thin and just yummy.
The next place on our list is Sioux Locks. So the Sioux Locks are a set of parallel locks in northern Michigan. You actually have Canada on one side and the US on the other, and the town of Sault Ste. Marie is really cute too. We grabbed a couple of appetizers and beer, of course, as we were passing through, but we didn't explore much more of this area. You can take a boat tour through the locks as well. We weren't able to do that in our time frame, but it looked awesome, so we recommend it if you're going to be doing that.
The next destination you're going to want to visit is the Great Lakes Shipwreck Museum and Whitefish Point Lighthouse. I hate to admit it, but we don't frequent museums. However, we really enjoyed this one. It's both educational and leaves you with an eerie feeling since you're reading all about the shipwrecks that have taken place on Lake Superior. When you're ready for some cheering up, walk across the lawn to Whitefish Point Lighthouse. You get a beautiful, chilly view of Lake Superior and can even tour the lighthouse and take the stairs all the way to the top to the lookout point. They also had plenty of space to park your RV, which we thought was really cool. We spent maybe a total of an hour here, so it's a great stop to add in during a day with other activities planned, like our next recommendation,
which is TAHQUAMENON Falls. So we remember how to pronounce this because they had a sign there saying it sounded like phenomenon. So TAHQUAMENON, we'll never forget it. There is an upper and lower falls area. We had Carmen that day, so we were a bit tired from exploring. So we actually took her on a walk to the upper falls because it was closer. We learned these are nicknamed root beer falls because of the color of the water. The surrounding trees leach tannin into the surrounding water, causing the brownish reddish hue. That's actually very beautiful.
Don't miss the next stop, which is Pictured Rocks National Lakeshore. We cannot recommend this area enough. Definitely take a boat tour to see the lakeshore, and if you're more adventurous, take a kayak tour. Honestly, if you have the time, I would do both. The rocks here are so beautiful and should be admired from many different angles. The town is very cute as well, so be sure to spend some time eating and drinking after your tour.
The next place we recommend is Kitch-iti-kipi, also called the Big Spring. So this stop was originally recommended by a few viewers who were also Yoopers, so we knew we had to go. It's located at Palms Book State Park and is 200 feet across and 40 feet deep. Over 10,000 gallons a minute are released from the bottom of this spring. And the spring never lets up, so it continues to flow throughout the year, making the water a constant 45 degrees. So they do have a self-operated observation raft where you can pull yourself to the center and look through the center of the raft to see the spring. It's actually quite large, but it's a very cool experience and we highly recommend it.
Don't miss Fayette Historic State Park. It is one of my favorite places in the UP. The historic town site, a once bustling iron smelting industrial community, features more than 20 historic buildings. A visitor center provides opportunities to learn about life in a 19th century industrial town, and then you can take a self-guided walk through the actual town to look at the leftover factory, buildings, and homes.
Our 8th recommendation is the KEWEENAW Peninsula. So this is actually where we spent my birthday this year. We were with Tom and Caitlin Morton from Morton's on the Move. So there's so much to see on this peninsula. So if you only have a short amount of time, we highly recommend just taking the scenic drive. But we opted to rent a UTV with Tom and Kate and explore the back roads, which was so fun. And then for Caitlin's birthday, we hopped on a boat and spent the day on the Portage Canal. And there's just so much more to see on the KEWEENAW, so we'd recommend planning at least a few days here. Sure got our stuff and ourselves dirty enough.
You can tell.
Yeah.
It's a little cooler. Last on our list are the Porcupine Mountains. We have not yet been here, but it's on our list when we return, and you bet we're going back. This state park is Michigan's largest, coming in at 60,000 acres. It is home to a 35,000 acre old growth forest, roaring waterfalls, rivers, streams, and more than 90 miles of hiking trails. If you like exploring the outdoors, this one's for you.
Now you'll probably be wondering, where should you camp in the UP? And honestly, any campground will likely do. If you Google Upper Peninsula campgrounds, you're going to have a hard time finding a park that's rated less than 4.5 stars. Also, the Michigan State Park reservation system is honestly the best one we've seen. We love that you can start the reservation process by putting in your requirements and then seeing the entire availability across the state. And then after that, you can even zoom into an area and then a campground and then all of the open sites in that. So it makes booking a site so easy because you're not hopping from website to website and having to enter in your information each time. Also, if you find a few available campsites and you're not sure which one is better, most of the campgrounds have a picture of each site. So you can see if it has trees, a gravel ground, a table, fire ring, and how big the site is. So you can choose which one's best for you by just looking at the pictures. We love this system.
Now, to be more specific, we've camped at both Strait State Park and Fayette Historic State Park. Site A1 at Strait State Park is our favorite campsite that we've ever visited. It's a huge site and has a killer view of the Mackinac Bridge. It's so peaceful and beautiful. If you want to snag this site for yourself, keep in mind that it is dry camping only and there are no generators allowed. As for the Fayette Historic State Park, this was a beautiful campground. We loved riding our rad power bikes to the historic part of the park and on. This was a very quiet place and will hold a special place in our hearts because it's where we became models. We did a photo shoot with RV Snaphead. Our last tips for you are what to eat in the UP. The most famous food in the UP is the pasty, and it is important that you pronounce it correctly. Pasty, not pasty. That's a completely different thing. We tried these for the first time with Tom and Kate Morton and really liked them. My first thought was that it tasted like a pot pie. Tom even shared with us some of the history of the pasty. Next up, you're not going to want to miss the beer in the UP. If you're a beer lover like me, you're going to be in heaven. If you're not a beer lover, we still recommend tasting it. We've noticed the most variety in beer in Michigan. Some of the beers don't even taste like traditional beers. So talk to any server at these breweries and they can get you set up with flavors you will definitely like.
Now, we haven't tried this last recommendation, but we are definitely planning on it when we return to the UP. We just figured out about it after we left this time. So the next food item you're going to want to try is the Trinary Toast. Now, from our understanding, this is a twice baked bread that's sprinkled with cinnamon, and you can either eat it plain, add jam, or dunk it in a hot beverage. There are plenty of stores that sell it in the UP when I looked it up, but you're gonna want to visit the source, and that would be Trinary Home Bakery in the city of Trinary, you guessed it. So if you couldn't tell, we love the UP. We hope you found these suggestions useful for planning your perfect Michigan trip, and if you have any other recommendations that are can't miss, leave them in the comments. We'd love to add them to our list for next time. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to join our Getaway gang. We'll see you next time.
Bye guys. I need to say one of my...
Yeah. Wish this couch would shut up. Michigan! More specific.
We practiced.
What? So this is where I actually spent my birthday this year. We were...
The most famous food in the UP is the pasty.
Pasty.
If you're not a beer lover.
Now this lack of... Damn! That would have been such a good transition.